Sit out on our porch sometimes at night when we had company. We'd sit outside to get fresh air, and we'd have to lather up with DDT, which is really lethal. It's amazing I'm still alive, but we'd put DDT on our skin and then sit outside. The bugs didn't like it. And then we had a pressure lantern. Like a Coleman lantern with you use pressure, and it would pressure the kerosene up into the wick, and then you could light it, and it gave a really bright glow. And it had a glass kind of a chimney around it. Well, we'd sit out there, and these bugs would come by, and you could grab the bugs out of the air, and then hold them up to the chimney by their wings till they sizzled, and they'd squirm for a second, then they'd die, and you'd fry them. Then you could eat them, and they were crunchy. They tasted like bacon. Pretty good.
I'd pass on that.
You have a weird grandmother.
You're going to say taste like bacon? Yeah.
So should we ask Elise and Camilla's families if they have any questions? I thought I unmuted them. Come and check this out, Brett.
No, they muted themselves.
Oh, let's ask them to unmute.
No, press that, like what?
No, wait, Elise is, yeah, let's ask them, say, do you guys have any questions for Grammy and Papa?
We can't hear them.
There we go.
Can we hear her now?
You hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Now do the same thing for Camilla, Carl.
Camilla, hers is up.
Hers is up. She's up.
Camilla needs to unmute herself. I'll send her a text. Okay.
Hear you.
There. Okay. Bye. You guys have any questions for Grammy and Papa, guys?
So, Mom, what was your PhD in?
My PhD would have been in educational psychology, but I never finished it.
Right, okay.
I didn't complete the dissertation or the last couple of classes because they told me they weren't going to let me in the program. They wouldn't graduate me because I didn't have a teaching experience. So we moved to Hemet for me to get the teaching experience with the idea that I'd eventually go back and go to school, but I never did because we started having kids.
Yeah. And Dan, how come USC?
What's that?
Why did you decide to go to USC?
Well, I applied to 6 different places, and first place I got accepted was Northwestern in Chicago. That sounded cold. Of course, my dad always liked that because that's where he went to medical school, was in Chicago. But I disappointed him, and then Kansas City didn't, and St. Louis, that sounded cold too in the winter, and some of my best friends from BYU were going to USC, and they told me that was the best school in the world, and I don't know.
Which, of course, it is.
And I always thought the weather there sounded a lot better. And besides, the girls at the beach wore bikinis and stuff like that, you know. So that was a
hard decision.
Essential, Dan.
Funny.
I think James is getting a little embarrassed, Dad. A little bit rosy cheeks over there. Girls in bikinis, and his cheeks are getting a little red.
Hey, Peter, you need to cover your ears when Papa's speaking.
Why?
Those are all my questions.
Do you have any, Camilla?
No, I guess I was thinking that Mom didn't ever get the degree for some other reason, so I guess that was interesting to hear why she didn't get the degree.
Well, because see, USC is in the downtown part, the ghetto part of Los Angeles. At least it was then, and I think it still is. But it was a pretty dangerous area to live in. So we weren't anxious to stay there any longer than necessary. And I kind of thought that we'd go out to Hemet where he was going to open his practice, and I could come in and go to school one night a week. Well, it wasn't practical to do that because of the driving time, and all. Never did it.
But you did consider finishing your degree at BYU later on, right, Mom?
Well, I applied to go to a different program, and they didn't accept me. I was pregnant with boys at the time. So I was 46 and pregnant, and took all the tests and went through the interviews, and then they put me on an alternate. So I didn't go to that one. They invited me to come back later, and I didn't do it. I had number 14 was for a lot of kids.
Now, let me ask you a question. Peter?
Yeah.
You need to go get your sandals on.
Peter?
Yeah.
What are you going to be when you grow up? Are you going to be a dentist?
I don't know yet.
Papa has been trying to get every one of his kids to go to dental school. 24 kids, so 14 kids and 27 grandkids, and nobody wants to go to dental school.
I'm going to start working on the grandkids now. Charles?
No.
No.
James?
I plan on being a engineer, applying a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer.
I want to be an electrical engineer right now.
What?
You could be a salesman that goes door to door to jabber all the time.
What is what?
Hey!
Charles just told Peter he could be a door-to-door salesman.
So what is it James wanted to be? There was a squeaky noise that came through then when he was talking.
He wants to be an electrician.
Probably a mechanical or electrical engineer.
Oh, okay, chemical engineer.
He's going to got accepted into a program at the Magruder High School over here called Project Lead the Way.
We'll get it in a minute.
Okay, so anyways,
You go to the classes.
okay, he's doing the Project Lead the Way, which is an engineering certification thing, as long as he passes all the exams by his senior year, right?
I saw some lightning out behind you guys.
Yep. It's raining too, so you probably can hear it.
Genevieve's outside.
So are you in the family room right now?
Yes, in the family room now. So when you come next month, Mom and Dad, our house has changed a little bit. So these windows back here, this is where the sliding door used to
Make
be.
it a
Yeah,
surprise.
that's what I figured.
And so
Make it a surprise.
we reused the windows, and the sliding door is now off of the new addition in the dining area, off of the kitchen.
Can we have a tour?
Yeah, so actually, we need to also, so this is the family room. There used to be a fireplace right
Oh.
there.
Fireplace out.
Yes, we took the fireplace out because it was just too small.
Well, that gives you more space there, doesn't it?
It does. And then this is where the sliding door was to go to the backyard. But now we have windows. And then there's the kitchen. Yes. And then we turned, so where this peninsula is, used to be where the door was, right here.
Yeah.
I mean, not the door, the wall. The wall was here, but now it's opened up.
Where
to our
to?
dining.
Where to? Where
It looks
to?
awesome.
And there's my lantern, my mixing bowl that I got in Utah.
For your
The
man.
picture.
And then the sliding door, now we reused it and we just moved it
Oh, okay.
to here. So now that goes to the to our mud pit. We're trying to grow grass, but you can't see it because it's dark because of the storm. And so, and then from the addition, there's the kitchen. And then everything's the same, except, do you remember, Mom and Dad, there used to be a door right
Oh,
here
yeah, into the dining room.
into
Yeah.
the office, but now it has the pantry and cupboards instead. And
It's
then
an
the
office.
dining room now turned into our office. So it might be a little messy. So now we have to go back out like this, and then that's our office now.
Oh,
which-
how nice. How nice.
So the boys do their homework here. This is the dumping station, as you can see. We dump everything there. And so, but yeah, that's the changes that we've made so far.
And you're glad you did it?
Oh, Elise, I'm so glad I listened to you and Dad and made it happen. Because, can I just tell you, I love that peninsula and having that space with the kids. Because when Brett and I were first talking about this, I said, I think I'm the one who really pushed this and said, I don't want to do it. Once James goes to high school, there's no point in spending this kind of money. Because by then, before you know it, all the kids are going to be out of the house, and then we'll have this big addition, and it'll just be Brett and I. But Brett was saying, oh, let's hold off and let's just still do it, even if he's in high school. And then
You could always have more children, Kathleen.
I'm sorry?
You could always have more children.
Yeah, I could, but I think I'm getting a little old for that.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 42 now, not quite as old as you when you had boys, but still, I think that's. But anyways, now that we did it, Elise, I'm really glad I listened to you and Dad because it has been. We love it. We love it so much. We're glad we did it.
I'm glad. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm
It's
happy with it.
But Kathleen, you could have that mellow last one that comes along that always does what you want him to do. Just think of that. And then by the time Brett and you are getting your Social Security check, you could spend your first few years using that for college.
That's what we did. Hello, Brett.
Yeah, in fact, I was just telling Brett in the car today that I had a dream where I was pregnant.
Oh. Oh.
And
I'm
Brett's
gonna ask her if she woke up in a cold sweat.
Brett, did it make your armpits break out?
Oh, definitely.
I just think it might be a little girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. But yeah, at the rate we're going, like the Mrs. J who asked Charles if he would be the lighting specialist for the next 2 years for the place, she was saying, you know, I thought Charles is a great student. He's gotten straight A's all year round. He's a good listener, and James is a hard worker, but he's much more outgoing than your older son, James. And I said, yeah, you're right. And then we were talking about Peter next, and she's like, but then Peter is like the exact opposite of James. I said, yeah. So if we're going that route, it won't be a quiet baby. It'll be really loud and who knows what else. Even more bossy than Peter.
See, I think that Peter got Grandma McNutt's genes.
He did. He inherited it from my mom.
You know, actually, as he's getting older, he's starting to have more moments of shyness.
Really?
Sometimes he just won't talk, and it's kind of weird. It's strange because usually he has no problems talking to anybody, but he's starting to get a little more quiet sometimes. I think he's starting to be more aware of himself. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to be in a play. He's super excited this weekend.
Good.
So, when are you guys flying in? I assume you have your tickets, Mom and Dad?
Yep.
When are you flying in? So, because I need to verify everything with the bishop and line it all up for Charles to get.
Flying on June the 9th. We're going to be there about in BWI at about 11:30
AM?
a.m. So, and Charles is getting ordained on the 12th.
Yes.
And then on the morning of the 14th early, we're going to leave to go to Sacramento because Alex graduates on the 15th.
Okay.
So we're not there terribly long.
Yeah, we're staying at the Gaithersburg Hilton.
Gaithersburg Hilton. Okay. So, nice. So Charles will pass the sacrament for the first time on the 12th, and then we'll get him set apart in our house, probably that Friday the 10th or the Saturday the 11th. I'll verify that. I spoke to the bishop about it, because I told him that you would like to be there on Sunday when he passes the sacrament.
Okay.
So he's like, oh yeah, we could totally, we'll introduce him to the ward on the 5th, and then we'll set him apart at your house. And I thought, that's even better. We'll do it at the house.
Well, Grant got ordained on when was it? A Sunday evening, I think, at the church.
Uh-huh.
His dad's the bishop now, so that's the rules. And then the next Sunday, we went up to sacrament meeting, and we sat in the perfect spot. We were the first one that we passed the sacrament
And
to.
I was his first recipient to get the sacrament was from Grant. Pretty cool.
Okay.
We didn't plan it that way, but it just happened
It
to
just
be.
worked out that way.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll set it up so that he can pass the sacrament on that Sunday while you guys are here. And then Jeanette wants to come to church too and watch him pass the sacrament for the first time as well.
Getting a little violin serenade there.
Yeah, he's stressing out a little bit because he has to stay after school until 9:30, and so he's out of the three of them, he's the one that stresses out the most about school and everything being orderly. He's very anal about things, in particular. So he's the one that does his homework on the school bus. So he's kind of strange that way.
He's a darling boy.
Yeah. But he also has, when he gets upset though, he gets very violent, which is the opposite. Yeah. He gets more physical. There's a lot of screaming and tears. Well, when James gets upset, you can't tell James is upset. You can't tell when James is happy either, though.
So which one of the parents does Charles take after, and which one does James take after?
So I think James thinks like I do. So we tend to pout and are more inwardly, and so we sulk, privately and stuff, and get really down and negative in our heads, but we don't voice as much. But like he thinks like I do, and he gives up easily like I do. And Charles is more like Brett, where he gets angry if he doesn't catch on to something or if things doesn't go the way he wants to. Charles is very uptight, and so I would say he's more like Brett in that sense. And usually he's pretty easygoing, but then like every once in a while there's a volcano that erupts. And so I would say that's more like Brett. And then Peter, I don't know. Peter does a lot of, I don't know where he would fall. He does a lot of whining right now, but I don't know if that's just because he's the youngest and he's used to getting everybody to do things his way, or I'm not sure where Peter falls in. So. But Peter did his first 5K on Saturday, and he did such a great job. I was a little worried that there was going to be some crying taking place, because when we were practicing, it got hot a couple of times, and there was tears by Peter about, it's too hard, it's too hot. And so I thought, I think there's going to be some crying because it's a hilly course, especially towards the end. But Peter, he did really well. He didn't complain once, and he stuck to the plan of running a half a mile and walking for 2.5 minutes, and he went back and forth, and he was really good, and he did a good job.
Good.
So so maybe Peter has a little bit of both of us. I don't know. But I don't know where. Do you think I'm extra?
I think Peter is his own man.
Yeah, I think so. Because Brett's very introverted. And James is introverted. Charles is introverted.
Peter is not.
But
Peter's
very extroverted.
Peter's like Grandma McNutt. I know he's not blood related, but he's like Grandma McNutt. She could make a friend in any airport in the world. Within 20 minutes, she'd know somebody who knew somebody else. Oh, I think my mother used to live next door to your aunt. That kind of stuff. She's incredible.
Yeah, and Peter's gotten to know a lot of the older kids that James doesn't even know at his school. Because because he'll talk to everybody. So everybody knows who Peter is. And so, especially the older girls. He seemed to be drawn to the older girls.
Oh.
So yeah, he really likes those girls.
Look at Elise's picture. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I think they went to the park today, right, Elise?
They did. They went to the park, and it's hot. It's 88 degrees here, which for us is very hot.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
My trip there is not going to be able to be worked out. I think they called us and canceled our tickets.
You're funny. No, it's just we've just had like record heats, but yeah. So I think they're just tired from the park.
She's a cutie.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been raining a lot for us here and kind of cold.
Well, we're excited to come. I wish we could stay a little longer.
I'm excited for you guys to be coming and all too, and to see you guys, because it's been a little while since we saw you guys last, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Cool, though, that's the problem.
And Brett, we're renting a car, so we won't need to borrow a car from you to take to New York City or something.
All right.
like we did last time.
Our cars don't look very good, does it?
Well, they're
Oh,
old.
wait.
They're old.
I think Elise saw it with the dent on the door. Because that
Yeah.
happened just before she came, wasn't it?
Now it's a little rusty.
Yes, now it's a little rusty, Elise.
Hey, it's a Weber car. Fine.
How many miles does it have on it?
120, 130.
Oh, it's got a long ways to go.
Oh, that's just getting broke in.
My Acura is 267,000.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
The
well,
Suburban's at 292.
we're telling James that he probably will be the lucky one who gets to drive that van around when he turns 16 and a half.
Remember you girls being excited about driving our vans?
I'm thrilled about that.
I didn't like driving that truck, though. I remember driving your truck, Dad, and the steering wheel. It was so much work and effort to turn that steering wheel.
The green truck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't, did it not have, what was the thing for the steering?
Didn't have power steering.
Power steering? Yeah. Just remember that.
So, Elise, what did you see in Japan? What was exciting in Japan on your trip?
Not a whole lot. This time I went to the fish market, which I hadn't done before. And that was really cool. I didn't go, a lot of people go at like 4 in the morning and sit in line, and then they get to see the tuna sale, which is a tuna auction they have every 4 mornings a week. They bring these huge tunas in, and they'll auction off tuna to the different restaurants and stuff. So I didn't go to that part. We just kind of went afterwards and then walked around the fish market, and we got to see fresh tuna and fish they were cutting up and packaging to ship out, and then they had flash frozen.
Oh,
Okay. Elise disappeared.
yeah, I think her internet must have gone out again.
You've had an incredible lightning display behind you.
Yep, we've got a
Yeah, it's been
storm.
impressive.
So, yep. Our grass has been growing really well because of the storm, all the rain that we've had.
Good.
Everything's growing really well, which means
Well, good.
more mowing for the boys more frequently.
Anybody talk to Ashley lately? Oh,
I spoke to her the other week, and she said right now she's not having much pain, and she's going to work, and she's not thinking about keeping her appointment to find out what the mass is, because she doesn't have any insurance. I kind of thought maybe she should still try to keep that appointment to at least figure out what it is so that she doesn't go through the cycle again.
Yeah.
But I also told her, though, because I don't know what it's called in Vegas. Apparently every state is different with the Obamacare. There is, like, every area has she needs to do a search on the internet and talk to people and but there should be a way where somebody should be willing to pay for part of her medical expenses because of her income level. I guess it's through Obamacare or something like that, but she has to do the paperwork and turn in everything, and she needs to go look it up because I'm not sure what it is, what it's called in Vegas, but they have one here in Maryland because like Susie's aunt, she had breast cancer, and they covered all her costs for her to get her breasts removed and take care and have chemotherapy. And then they also contacted her to see if she would be interested in getting a cosmetic surgery done to
rebuild her boob.
one of her breasts. And it was completely free too. But the catch was with that one was that it was a medical student who would be doing the surgery. But so she did it though. And it was completely covered for
Good.
her. So there's got to be something in Vegas, I'm sure, for people who are under a certain income level when they have serious health issues.
Yeah.
That somebody should be covering it. But she needs to do the work of doing the research herself
Well,
and figuring it out and do the paperwork.
That's why she needs to find out what it is, if it's serious or not. My Brett, I don't know that you've been aware of this, but some of these sisters and brothers that are related to Kathleen, some of them are stubborn.
That's what I've heard. I've never experienced anything like that here, though.
I'm sure.
I'm very mild-mannered and I'm very compliant. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so she has to decide, but I kind of think she needs to figure out what it is and take care of it so she doesn't go through this again.
Well, I agree with you, and you keep pushing her on getting insurance because it just needs to happen.
So can I get nosy and ask, how much are you paying for her? You're paying just for her colonoscopy or?
Well, that's what we paid for. And
They paid 100% of that.
Okay.
And we paid for the doctor's, well, I guess it was all the same, wasn't it?
yeah, it was all in one bill.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, are you guys willing to pay for her surgery if they decide to take this mass out or?
Well,
No?
we were, but she won't do it now.
You won't do it now?
I had it all set up for her to come up here and get into a surgeon who would diagnose it and go after it. And I was willing to pay for it, but you know, I can't be jacked around forever. But
Yeah.
she wouldn't come up.
She won't come up?
No, she doesn't want to be away from Junior for a week.
And then she's worried she'll lose her job.
Yeah.
But hasn't she taken a lot of days off because of all the pain she was in too?
Yeah, and he gave her an ultimatum, you know, that, you know, she needed to take a few weeks off and until she could get a letter from the surgeon and from someone else that she was healthy enough to come back to work.
See, she passed out at work a couple of times from the pain.
And then over one weekend, I guess it seemed like it anyway, she just decided she wasn't coming. She was going to stay in work because she was feeling better.
So she was so bad, we didn't think we could put her on an airplane because she was just miserable, crying and groaning and everything. We didn't think we could put her on an airplane and bring her here. So Jacob and Dad were going to drive down and get her. We had it all set up and then bring her to our house, and then she would go in and see this doctor. He just canceled it just like that.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that one. I think, yeah, it would probably be best to just take care of it and be done. So she's not having to do this over and over again. But
Yeah.
She wants to be in denial. She wants to pretend that it's not bad. And she wants to pretend that it's going to go away. I don't think it's going to go away. as much as I believe in the power of prayer and names in the temple and all that stuff, this doesn't feel like this is a miraculous healing to me.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
it's
I don't
hard
know
to,
what to tell you. But yeah, so let's see if I might end up doing some research on my end to see if I can figure out what this program is in Vegas to see. But I'm afraid, part of me, I shouldn't judge, but part of me thinks that even if I find it and tell her all the information, I don't know if she'll fill out the paperwork and follow through with it and submit it all.
she won't. She doesn't want to know what's going on with her. She's scared.
I would think more the reason to find out what's wrong. So you would, at least you would know, right? The unknown, I would think, is more scary than the known.
Yeah, but that's a rational person thinking. And I don't think Ashley's rational at all when it comes to making decisions. She,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's feeling better, though.
I am too.
Good.
yeah.
Well, thank you for setting this up. I called Kathleen because the first Sunday in June, we are going to be at Shannon's. And so I was called Shannon to see if we could do a Google Hangouts from her house. And
Okay.
she didn't call me back, but that's kind of the general idea.
Okay.
I'll try to set that up.
Okay. You want to do it on the 1st or on the 5th?
Well, the 5th of the Sundays are easier for the family, I think, than weekdays, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can try to aim for the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we fly home on the Monday, so the 5th would be good.
Oh, because you fly home on the 6th. Okay.
That's from Shannon's. From
Okay.
Taft graduates on Saturday the 4th.
Okay. Has she heard which colleges she's been accepted to and which one she's going to?
No.
Okay.
All of a sudden, it just kind of hit them. The reality of the fact was that college is very, very expensive, and she's been working towards getting scholarships, and she has some, but not enough to cover it. And Shannon's feeling kind of guilty, like she's responsible for her daughter's college education. Well, she's not. She can help if she wants, but she's not responsible. She's a single woman. She's got 3 kids, and her ex-husband doesn't help. Those kids have to figure that stuff out, and she can, Taft can take a lot of that undergrad stuff at a local junior college, and then transfer and work, and then transfer to a senior college, a full university later on.
What about taking out a loan?
Well, tell her what Shannon said
About the loan?
about a loan, college loan, about loan dismissal.
Oh, yeah. When I first started talking to her, she says, well, she'll just take out a loan for the difference. And because probably she'll get loan dismissal or get it, the government will pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, I don't understand what you mean.
Well, it's what
Bernie
and Hillary want to do is get free college.
Everybody gets free college, and Shannon's hoping that if Hillary gets in, then if Taft has a college debt, that the government will forgive the college debt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's passing the debt on to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I kind of think, with the housing market crashing 8 years ago, I kind of feel like the next market to crash is probably college tuition. Don't you think it's gone up so high?
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe that's going to crash sometime soon, or at least I'm hoping.
Kathleen, the biggest reason I think that college tuitions are so high is because the loans are available.
Okay.
Yeah, why are there all the hairdressing schools around, and why are there all the dental assisting schools around? And there's a bunch of different schools around because the kids can get these government loans.
Hmm. Yeah, that could be too. So I was listening to a podcast. Brett has turned me into some. I've been interested in these podcasts because Brett introduced them to me, and I think it was the which one was it? It was an economics one, and they were talking about each of the candidates and the number one thing that they're pushing for, and if it's a good idea or a bad idea. And they had two economists on the panel, and they were talking about Bernie's free tuition for colleges. And all 12 of the economists said they like the idea because they like the idea of helping the poor so they can have a better chance of actually having a chance to go to college and bettering their lives and stuff. But majority of them, I can't remember how many of the 12, the majority of them said it was a bad idea and it wouldn't work because it wouldn't be the poor that would be taking advantage of it. It would actually be the middle class and upper class that would be taking advantage of it. So it would be, it would be like Shannon's kids. I could see Shannon's kids taking advantage of it. It would be Marita's kids, our kids. But she was saying the low income people, for the most part, they'll still not go to college and won't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And you can bet when it gets all done, it won't be set up where it's for all kids that are poor.
Or it might turn out to be like Obama's healthcare, where it's actually turns out to be, it sounds good, but in reality, it'll just be a lot more expensive than people thought.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll be tremendously expensive. And it'll end up being where the transgenders get it. Colored black minorities, but Chinese and Asians won't because they're too smart. You see what I'm saying? There'll be all these criteria in it, and the biggest thing about it will be to get it to, they're looking for groups of people to get votes from.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. See.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for putting this up, Kathleen. I sure do love you.
I love you too. I'm glad you guys made it back safely.
Okay, we'll see you, hon.
See ya.
Okay. Love you,
Bye-bye.
Mom and Dad. Good night.